I do like to be termed as a pioneer. I ain't no pioneer. I just did my job and did it well. You know what I mean? You know, and I enjoy doing it up to this day.
Jase said artists should forget about mainstream radio. You meant all local artists or just local hip-hop artists?
I'm talking about artists in general. Don't use or gauge mainstream radio as a crutch. Don't hold on to it as a crutch then. There's so many other ways. There's so much technology. There's so much ways to reach your fans, to reach new markets, and of course all sorts of global, you know what I mean, marketplaces. You don't need mainstream radio. You definitely don't. You know what I'm saying? From Facebook, YouTube, Reverb Nation, SoundCloud, I could go on and on. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people do like to embrace the underground, but trust me, the underground is what builds artists. You know what I'm saying? Don't rely on mainstream radio. I work on mainstream radio. I could tell you. You know what I'm saying? So don't rely on it.
Don't you think there's a bit of a contradiction?
No, not at all. I work on mainstream radio to pay bills. Right? I love radio. I've always loved radio. I got into radio when radio was radio. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, where, you know what I mean, people loved radio. People, there was no marketing plan. Once it sounded good, we played it. Back in the days as an artist, and then making the transition from artist to DJ, whoever sounded good, felt good, will get play. That don't exist no more. That whole love, not there no more. So, you know what I'm saying?
Do you think the current impasse between the record label and the radio stations is a negative or a positive thing?
Well, the current conflict, I can only say this without ruffling any feathers on either party. Because I'm kind of like down the middle. I endorse what the particular record label is trying to do and trying to show people that, hey, an injustice is being done and we need to have it rectified. And I could see on the other end from the big guys where, hey, we didn't know, you know what I mean, and we're going to try and rectify it. But that's between the two entities. Will it be positive? I hope it can be. At the end of the day, I don't want that because one entity and a corporation are at war, that it hampers the entire industry.
What is 4 Elements Radio and who listens to 4 Elements Radio?
Anybody that loves, breathes, eats, shits, real hip-hop music, you understand? Anybody who don't want to hear that tight pants crap on your radio, anybody who don't like wearing them bright, stupid colors and doing what's the stupid dance now? What's the dotage dance now? Whatever the new dotage dance is, you understand what I'm saying? If you're not that, this is what 4 Elements is about.
Do you have any intentions of changing the format of 4 Elements Radio from non-profit to commercial?
No, that's it. No, that's dangerous. So I don't want any money for 4 Elements Radio. I will continue paying for the server and the bandwidth out of my pocket. You know what I mean? And I'm even asking for donations. People have donated as well. You know what I mean? Through PayPal and whatnot. They be like, yo, I like what the station doing. How can I assist? You want to donate? No problem. But it's not a money-making venture. Right now, it's just an outlet. You know what I'm saying? It's an outlet that does not exist anywhere.
You've been around since the beginning of the urban radio format in Trinidad and Tobago. Since then, what are the significant changes that you have observed?
Well, first off, people don't train formally to be on radio. Right now, if a man just off the street, hey, you know this person, come on, take a thing, you're on air. I started off doing the graveyard shift. I was reading death announcements on Radio Trinidad, 7:30 AM. Fuck all in about AM. You know what I mean? Reading death announcements. Graveyard shift from 12 midnight to 5 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? No computers in them days. I mean to dwell on how hard it was then, but it's a good way to start. That's the training then. That's the boot camp. I went to the boot camp of radio then. You know what I'm saying? Back in the days of reel-to-reel, lining up programs to run, editing via razor blade, chopping your finger, playing commercials from cart machines. You know what I'm saying? So, to answer your question, basically the changes, and that's due to lack of training, and people don't respect what the machine is all about. When I see the machine, the entire radio game is all about. You know what I'm saying? What it entails, the responsibilities within being on air. That's just out the door. There's certain do's and certain don'ts. You know what I mean? There's a time to talk properly and there's a time to play. But these cats these days just want to play 24/7. You dig?
In the days of Kiskadee Caravan, there was a lot of local music being played on radio. What happened since then?
Since Kiskadee, well, back then there were only 2 stations. That's the first thing. All right? There were 2 stations. That was 95. That's before 19.92. There was 95. There was 100. All right? Back then, me being an artist, being an artist back then before, as I said, making the transition to being a DJ, I remember submitting little demos to like Chris Boynes and Don Moore and them dudes, and they would be like, yeah, I'll give it a spin because it sounded good. Back to my point before. Once it sounded good, we gave it a spin. You know what I mean? And we were proud. Hey, this from Trinidad, gave it a spin. When the influx of radio stations came, to me, I thought that would have been a plus where instead of having 1 or 2 outlets, you have 6 or 8. But eventually what would happen is, I don't know, certain stations were like, they would only want to play music from their camp. You know what I mean? Because there were certain stations that came out at the time, had their own label, so to speak. You know what I mean? Put out their own artists. And it was either you from that link or none. You know what I mean? And that's where the divide began. At least that's why I see it in my opinion. You know what I mean? Was it a good? No. You know what I mean? Because it's once again, you're stifling Trinidad and Tobago as a whole. You dig? But from then to now, it's just like a cancer. It just got worse and worse and worse. And at this stage of the game, where we see the whole cycle of people doing their own material, because back then, I would have to go and book a studio, do my own thing, do like 3 songs, pay a lot of money for studio time, pay a lot of money for mastering, editing, and all that. Now with of course, the days of technology, you could do your own stuff. Produce 15, 16, 17 track albums, master it, press it up. You know what I mean? There have many outlets you could do it. Back then I had a press vinyl. You know how much is to press 1 copy of vinyl be? 1 test press. You know how much money that is? Ask any of them sound men who used to get them plates, them 10-inch plates from Jamaica, how much that used to cost. You know what I'm saying? And I had to go and press 4 or 5 copies just to give 5 stations. You know what I mean? Now it's different. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of the airplay, I see it was growing. At one point, it was people began to embrace the local groups, and I'm talking about the hip hop fraternity. You know what I mean? Beyond the soca stuff, because soca has evolved into a different ball game now. You know what I'm saying? Gone are the days of the gugundung, gudung, 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 gudung. And now you have the bungees, you know what I'm saying? And of course the swappies and all these guys now doing their thing. And the music has evolved, you know? And with that whole fresh, young generation of music, you know, as far as the hip-hop game is concerned, that and all has even evolved. Where men, you know, the music sounds so much better, you know? The tones guys use, it's standing up to par or even surpassing people of the international level. You know what I'm saying? I could play a song off a Jay-Z single right now, and then I could play a song from a locally produced artist, and trust me, it's standing up head to head. If you tell me, hey, there's some dudes from Mova or there's some dudes from Arima, I wouldn't know, and that's why I like. You know what I'm saying? As far as the airplay, it was getting embraced. It was. And I believe 2010 was the beginning of the new revolution of new artists, R&B and hip-hop in Trinidad and Tobago. But we reach a hiccup. We'll go up next. We gotta wait and see.
Is 4 Elements Radio in violation of any copyright laws?
Well, in terms of what I've read and what I've researched, more or less 4 Elements Radio is in the clear. Once we're non-profit, we're not making any revenue at all on any of the works that's being, you know what I mean, played on the station. 9 times out of 10, they're unsigned and of course unregistered music, people who have just demos and a lot of stuff that don't want to get exposed, and that's what we play. All the underground releases, once again, since we're not earning revenue, we in the clear. That's according to documentation provided by my broadcast team and my people who let me know exactly what it is I can and cannot do within, in terms of broadcasting the station. That's it.
Is it that those in control of urban radio think that locally produced hip-hop is not good enough for airplay?
It's not the DJ's say anymore. You understand? Back then, program directors relied on what the DJs knew musically. You understand what I'm saying? Like back when I worked at 95.1 and I had my Friday night show called Psych on a Friday from 8 p.m. to 12 midnight. The guy would just tell me, my PD at the time was Holly Thomas. And he was like, listen, Jase, here what's going on. You know the music more than me. This is my program administrator telling me that. You know the music more than me. You know what the vibe and, of course, the format we want the station to have, the song we want to have. You know the do's, you know the don'ts. Once it's songing good, you go ahead and fix your mix. And that gives the DJs the power, which we always had, to break new artists, introduce new music, you know what I'm saying, and set the trends. Now, when you go into any radio station, you look on our whiteboard, you have some rotation songs, that's it. The end. These are the songs we are rotating. These are the songs that will be played. You're going to hear them same 20 or 40 songs whole day. And that's not determined by the DJ.
Is there anything artists should do technically or artistically to get airplay?
Right now, artistically, I'm seeing a nice change. I've seen people going beyond the fictitious MCing where I sell all these keys and I just push drugs and I am the biggest pimp and I bull so much girls, whatever it is. Men stepping out the zone of that, you know what I mean? Because how much drugs you could sell, if you ever sell any. How much girls you pimp or bull, you know what I mean? That ain't sexy. Chicks ain't finding that sexy. You know what I'm saying? Nobody finding that sexy. And I like how people are now broadening the musical tastes and encompassing all sorts of different genres within to make their product sound better. So that's one thing I like. As far as, once again, the mainstream radios play, let your voices be heard. You know what I'm saying? If you have a problem where you drop your music at a certain station and they want to play it, put them on blast. Put them on blast. You know what I mean? If it means you had to do the highway records approach and make some placards and go outside, do that. Let your voice be heard. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You know what I'm saying? And that was it. In one aspect, I say do that. And in the other aspect, I say forget mainstream radio, because sometimes to me, the fight ain't worth it if them dudes ain't gonna budge. But the bottom line is the 30-something stations on the dial, you can't lose. You know what I'm saying? You can't lose. So be vocal. Be vocal. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to let a program director in a certain radio station know that plays your format of music. You know what I'm saying? Because I wouldn't expect you to run by a chutney station and say, I want my hip-hop track play. You know what I'm saying? That makes no sense. You know? But bottom line is, if people are doing you injustice, be vocal about it. Let people know. And don't depend on that play from said station. Now you could put a little video to your song, post that up on YouTube, use the different networks, the Facebooks, the Twitters and whatnot, put your stuff up, promote yourself, and go out there. It's guerrilla tactics, it's guerrilla marketing. You know what I'm saying? Don't depend on it. But if somebody doing you an injustice, where the music cannot be denied, where you know your product is real good, and men just decide not to play it just because, be vocal about it. You dig?